1.
And welcome back to UKSG Autumn Marathon in Aid of Crisis. We've had a slight bit of a change to today's schedule. The run you are about to see now will be from wearingfin, who is going to be showing us a novice boost run of Crimzon Clover World Explosion. Finn, take it away.
Thank you, or as it says on the screen right now, Crimzon Clover World Explosion. Hello everybody, I'm wearingfin. Hopefully this late change will go okay, who knows. Only technical difficulties so far, I've not figured out the Zoom. So say hello to my cat sleeping over there. So this is actually a shmup, a shoot 'em up, a shooting game, SCG, whatever you want to call it. So not officially a speed run, so to say, so I'm very grateful that you've accepted me for this. Because it's not a speed run, I pretty much get to make the rules. So time begins when we put a coin in. So on 3, 2, 1, go. So we're going to pick Novice because it allows me to talk at the same time, which is always nice to do, otherwise I'm going to sound like a feral cat. And there are 2 modes available. We have the original mode where everything is pretty much set in terms of difficulty and plays like a traditional vertical shoot 'em up. Now we have something interesting, possibly one of the best beginner modes in shoot 'em ups, and that is boost mode. And as you can see from this graphic, the difficulty, the bullet density, the bullet speed, they are all variable, and the player has an element of control in terms of that. For the ship, I will go for the vanilla option, type 1, but I will go red to make it easier to see. And now for the speedrun tech, tutorial skip. Ship skip, and off we go. So it might not be a speed run, but I am going to have to speed run the explanation a little bit. So the point of this mode, what makes it different from the normal experience, all revolves around the bar on the top right hand corner of the screen right now. So that bombs, where you think of them as an item in most shoot 'em ups, in here it is not an item, it is a part of that gauge over there. So I've gone over it, so I can, if I want to, use a bomb. If I use a bomb, then the requirements goes up a bit. Now, if I filled up that bar, then it's my super gauge. Think of it like a fighting game. I get to pull off a super move, and in the original mode, I get to pull that off for about 20, 30 seconds, destroy absolutely everybody. What makes it different in Novice Boost is, there we go, I have reached that, and now I'm not going to leave that state unless one of 2 things happen. One of which is if I use a bomb, which I'm now able to do. The second of which is if I die. So I have no intention of using a bomb, and I hope very, very much that I'm not going to die during this. Now, I'm not going to promise you 0 deaths whatsoever, but I will try my best. So what makes this a great beginner mode is that obviously the player has control of that. It's a bit like training wheels on a bike, except the opposite way. So you go as fast as you can, or as hard as you can, for as long as you can, and then when you think, no, this is too much, I can't do this, taking back to all the slow bullets, then you just press the bomb button, and it all goes back to slow. Hopefully, well, I hope I won't get to show it to you, but I mean, in all likelihood, talking and doing this at the same time, I'm going to have stupid death, and that's the beauty of shmups. You're going to have stupid deaths everywhere. So talking about how to build score, you'll notice that everybody has 1 or 2 little icons above their screen, little numbers, the yellow and the green. So the yellow is my break rate, and that is going to grow naturally up until 8, where it's going to rest. And the green one is dependent on me. So you'll see I have a shot button and a lock button. The lock button is basically a bit like Panzer Dragoon. So if I lock onto as many enemies, I'm going to get a larger multiplier. Then it's base score times base rate, break rate, times the green one, and that is my score. First boss, I'm going to dismantle it because I have a huge love of stars. And if I take care of the left side first, it's going to give me a load of them. And then I'm going to make my way to the right hand side and wait for the laser to stop firing at me like a rude little fella. And second part, and it's not going to take long. And there we go, I am awash in stars. It's a shame we haven't got a Resident Evil 3 speed run following up next. And if I think I'm going to do so well, why do I take the extra life? Because at the end of the game, that extra life is going to be worth 30 million points. I like points. So we are going to go into stage 2 now, into the Wild Wild West. But Bricks, if you have anything, any messages you would like to say, now is the time to do it.
Absolutely, Finn. Just like to give a big thank you to everyone for watching the United Kingdom Speedrunner Gathering. Normally we're a 2-day speedrunning marathon held 4 times a year in Glasgow, Scotland, but due to the situation with COVID-19, we bring you 3 days of exciting speedruns from the comfort of our own homes to yours. Back to you, Finn.
And currently living in Switzerland, I am very, well, not necessarily grateful, but it's a great opportunity for me to be able to be involved in my home event without actually being at home. Unfortunately, it's a miserable day here, so you can't see the Swiss Alps in the background or anyone yodeling or playing with some Swiss cheese. So I'm going to talk about the game a bit whilst we're still in the early stages, and it is a rather simple affair. It does get harder, I promise you. So this was made by one person, or mostly one person. One person and another for music. It came out about 10 years ago on the arcade, and then about 6 years ago on all the major PC platforms that were available 6 years ago. And last year it came out on the Switch, and is now referred to as the best shmup, one of the best shmups on the Switch. So I've got the first mini boss here, and hopefully I'm going to take care of it yet before it shoots off its giant laser. 2 pods are going to come out, and they're going to work in tandem to try and trap me in the middle, but my dodging skills are too exceptional for that. So that is going to be there, and there we go, there is a mini boss. You're still going to get the items after each mini boss, but you're not going to get a one-up there, so I am going to take the stars instead. Stars are nice, and if you can see on the top right hand corner there is a counter, and if I get up to 100,000 stars then I'm going to get my next life. Now this bit is all about choo-choo trains and bullet cancelling. So if you look at any major bullet hell style games, you'll see that some of them, if they take care of a big enemy, then all of the bullets around them will just disappear. That is called bullet cancelling, and you can see that in effect here, where if I'm in any other kind of difficulty, if I find a big enemy to kill, like Big Red here, and then everything around me should disappear. Of course, less of a problem on the Novice boost on stage 2, but as you progress in the game and progress through the difficulties, knowing that piece of information is vital. Now we're coming up to the second boss. We're going to transport ourselves back to the 80s. I'm going up against Andre the Giant. I still believe wrestling is real. The only way I'm going to beat him is by working the legs. And I want you to keep this boss in mind because he is going to make a return later on. Andre the Giant, if he was a mechanical spider, of course. So here I'm going to go to the side and target the legs. It's important in the final phase I do this. He's going to say no, go to the center, and I'm going to say no. Let me shoot your legs. Be a nice boy. So this one is going to shoot some more at me. And that is the end of phase 1. Phase 2 is kind of the same, just targeting the legs. It's going to disappear briefly, but it's okay. He will be back. He's not a rude boy. But as you can start to see why it's important to take care of the legs, because it is the originating point of most of the attacks. Now a very... oh, who can see that Mega Punch coming? There we go, final phase, and this is the importance of taking out the legs, because these giant beams which are going to come from it, if there were more legs and there'd be more firepower going towards me, that would obviously be bad. And that goes on for a long time, but thankfully there is always a gap between those bullets coming from the start, and they'll go, fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. So many, so beautiful. I'm going to take another one up. I can have 9 extra extends, and there we go. Now we're going to go into the magical enchanted forest. Bricks, another opportunity for you to give us some messages.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should just take a moment to talk about the fact that we are raising money to support Crisis, a charity supporting people out of homelessness for good. They achieve this through education, training, and support with housing, employment, and health. 90% of your donations will go towards supporting Crisis, and 10% will go towards helping UKSG support future events. Here's a little bit more about what Crisis do in their own words. We help homeless people find and keep a rented home. We do this by working with landlords to ensure a supply of places to live and giving homeless people the tools and knowledge they need to rent successfully. Our Housing Resource Centre provides information and training for housing professionals. The Help to Rent database lists private sector rented schemes across the UK. Over to you, Finn.
And an incredibly noble cause, one which I'm proud to be representing today by blowing up everything which is found in front of me. So, stage 3 is stage 3 is stage 3. Because stage 3. So I said in the last stage that this was originally an arcade game, and of course arcade games need to make money. The first stage is usually free because, you know, they've got your money, you get a good time. Second stage, a little bit difficult, you may have to learn some of the mechanics, but I died. Right, so this is why I shouldn't speak whilst dodging. And I've died again. So we can see here that basically dying just slows everything down. And thankfully everything should become a little bit more manageable, but in terms of this run, what I'm wanting to do is get back that bonus as quickly as possible, because this has a lot of impact in terms of my points. You may have noticed there is an additional timer apart from the one that's provided by UKSG, and that is the one going on the left of my screen. So every 30 seconds which counted on that, I'm getting a lot of points. So I want to stay in that super state for as long as possible, because it is becoming my main source of points as I'm going further onwards. So a bit of RNG in terms of how many of these big ships are actually being made appear. If Extreme Space Invaders didn't already exist on the Nintendo DS, I would say it's a little bit like this experience here. But hey, something revolutionary in terms of the shmup. We were scrolling from left to right. Big ship means that is the end, and then we have some popcorn enemies. Popcorn. I'll say that word. Popcorn enemies is basically just your typical ones, where one shot will kill them. It's good for raising the multiplier. Now I'm going to start the gauntlet. I would say this is the most difficult part of the stage, but apparently not, considering my incredibly silly 2 deaths earlier. But thankfully, because of that, because of my death, it did slow down a little bit, and it takes a little while for it to get back to the top rank. Have these annoying little fast air shooting in spirals. Now, for anyone actually knowledgeable in terms of shmups, may think this is a little bit like Mushihime-sama, a cave shmup classic, and used to be a joke about how many bugs there were in the game before Hollow Knight came along. And certainly those mechanical dragons do remind me of stage 4 of that. The second part of the gauntlet here, I am completely ignoring to actually get a good multiplier, which is terrible of me. There we go, big ship on the left and then a big ship on the right. And we should be okay. I don't really think I should be going to score in American run. I should be telling myself internally every 5 seconds, American safe, American safe, American safe. These little bugs and their pot shots. And that is the end of the gauntlet. So now just 2 big ships, and then some more UFOs, and then we can say that we can go on to the end of stage boss. And sometimes it's best just to ignore them. I don't want to have to deal with the revenge bullets. There we go. So I go around, bomb them, and off we go. So the first phase of the boss is like me back in the 90s when I discovered the strafe button in Doom. It's just going to go from side to side, shooting randomly, and I hope not to be in front of them when it happens. And next will be a laser in a cross formation. This gets more intricate in terms of when it comes to later difficulties, but easily dodged there. And for the next phase, he's going to throw the cutlery at me. So first the forks, then some spoons. Now I want to make sure I'm towards the left-hand side because some lasers are coming up, because why not? That's how you increase the fun, by having lasers on everything. That is coming there. I have to make sure I'm aligned properly. Now we're going to do a little spiral, a little dance around. Can be a little bit awkward in order to dodge. That is done. And now we're just going to repeat with the forks in due time. And now for the final phase, he's taking inspiration from one there going the second stage boss and just going. And this is foreshadowing what will happen later on in terms of the run, in terms of this attack. This will get faster. But this is not messed that up completely, but it's okay. The boss is dead. That is the most important thing, and life goes on. He is milking the death a little bit. I'm going to take another one up to cover the rather silly deaths beforehand. There we go. Now we're going to soar across the sky. So Bricks, yet again, an opportunity for messages, donations, anything you've got.
Certainly. Well, you mentioned that you were joining us from Switzerland today, and while we're on the continent, I think we should also take this moment to give a thank you to BSG, aka Benelux Speedrunner Gathering, for supporting this marathon. They hold bi-monthly gatherings in the Netherlands, and they have supported UKSG from the beginning by spreading the word and providing us with a channel to stream on in past sessions, among other things. Mark your calendars, because their next event is coming soon, and it is streamed on this very channel, so you won't need to go very far to watch it.
I would hope so, assuming all of this goes well, and that's definitely my next port of call in terms of marathons on the continent, and definitely one of the bigger events around here, something I always like to watch. So what can we talk about here? It's mostly about trying and failing to bring up the multiplier. There are spinning discs in the way. I will talk about those later because they are my arch nemesis. And I think at this moment I have to tell myself, marathon safe, let's just dodge the bullets. So my green multiplier will be remaining a little bit low. There's going to be more big ships swooping up inside. And the next one is going to be an exercise. I want to just edge my way and encourage all of the shots to go somewhere else. I'm going to get some big ships here. Big ships that are going to shoot very quickly. And what makes this such a great speedrun game is that if I do it quick enough, I get more enemies to kill. Certainly there are some shoot 'em ups that you can speedrun effectively and play well, but probably not this game. Alright, so we're taking care of two, and oh, okay, that was slow. Now, if anyone's like me and been on Amazon Games for the past 2 years and just been hoarding every free game, firstly you've got about 40 fantastic SNK games to play, but also there is a little game called Hyperdot there, which is all about staying in a circle and dodging bullets for about 30 seconds to a minute, which I find to be fantastic practice for this area right here. And because video game logic, they could easily kill me just by adjusting the angles. I'm very grateful they haven't. There we go, last one, and I do love that section. Unfortunately, boost mode ruins this next boss. The first one is the first phase is a lot longer. As you can see, through it in a matter of seconds. And then, let's make sure we don't do anything silly. There we go. So, what was everybody's fads when growing up? I was all about Tamagotchis and Pogs. I say that because this is the moment to play Beyblades, and I now hate Beyblades because of this game. In terms of silly deaths, this is the main source of it. There we go. Right. Alright, that should hopefully be the last of the silly deaths. And we go on, and I should hopefully be able to get my boost back before the boss, otherwise I am in trouble. So Big Red is making a return. One and the other, and two at once. Okay, it's been a bit tricky considering I am a little bit weak at the moment. There we go, I've got my boost back, and we've got two at once. But it's okay because one's down, one's the other. I'm going to go to the corner. And a little bit of dodging, and then just lure those bullets. In terms of this boss, the first thing I need to do is take care of one of the blue launchers on the left or the right extremes, because later in the phase it's going to get very quick. Thankfully, there is lots of destructible parts in the middle to make a clear way. If it scrolls enough to let it go. This is... There we go, right, so the blue one's wider now and it's quicker. Phase 1 is done. Phase 2 is all about the interchangeability, so it'll get different weapons on its left and right. And thankfully I can milk these. I want to get rid of the laser. Yeah, there we go, laser's gone, that's gone. Oh, they both got beaters. That is unfortunate. So for the third phase, there is a safe spot. You have to stay very close, and then you kill these. And what should usually happen is that, so it all builds up with the screen. That was run terribly, but it's okay because it's nearly done. Oh. So I heard that UKSG likes Metal Gear Solid, so I hope you appreciate how stealthily I just did all of that. Got to the final level, barely killed anybody, taken that one off life. So next one is the last one, but it's also the longest. Therefore, Bricks, if you have any messages, please let them rip.
Absolutely. Just want to give a shout out to some of the outstanding donation bids that we've still got happening today. So first of all, we've got the bid war for the Cuphead No Major Glitches run. In terms of character selection, who do you want to see running the race? Do you want to see Cuphead versus Cuphead, Mugman versus Mugman, or Cuphead versus Mugman? That bid incentive is still open. Also, for Octopath, we have the story choice incentive still open. Do you want the story to be Cyrus, Harnett, Ophelia, or Tressa? Do feel free to donate to that if you want to influence that outcome. And finally, for the Resident Evil HD remaster later on, once again, you can choose whether you're going to be speedrun as Chris or as Jill. So, get those in while you still can. Back to you, Phil.
And in terms of characters, it has to be Cyrus, the most legendary librarian of the land. And how could anyone resist talking about a Jill sandwich? But of course, I will make my donation after this run. But oh my, okay. It's a good thing I didn't say I'm going to donate for every single death. Otherwise, it might be costly right about now. But yes, certainly some interesting choices to be made. So they are throwing everything at me right now, even stop traffic. Got some there, and now what I assume is the main boss is going to talk to me directly. Welcome, wearingfin. It exists with the same soul. Is that it? Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm going to kill the bit rate for the next couple of minutes. So, Briggs, if you've got any final messages before we get to the last bosses.
Well, actually, we do have a donation that has just come in from Lady Marie with the $25 there, saying, "I have to donate whenever a runner presents his cat. Good luck to wearingfin and all the runners."
You know, Briggs, I'm relying on you to tell me if she actually wants something. Unfortunately, I'm not able to give her the attention that she probably deserves right now. I am saving the world, so to speak. At least I hope I'm saving the world. This game does have a story. It's on Wikipedia. It has lots of words which are completely unpronounceable to me. So this bit, it really is just massacring the final phase. I feel sorry. I won. It has a story, but I wonder what it is that they did. Oh, this is very dodgy. This is why no one does bullet hell in their own commentary. It takes. Oh, right. This should be fine. From this, you get a lot of respect for people who play the guitar or play the piano and do it simultaneously while singing. It is quite the skill to do something intensive and talk at the same time. So this is the first mini boss. Finally, it seems like forever. I'm going to get trapped by these lasers, which are thinner because I am. Oh, this is a different attack pattern. I've not done this on low rank for a while, so second one. Lots of missiles are going to be thrown at me. I'm going to edge myself to the right to avoid the red. Edge myself back towards the left to avoid that. Now we get the annoying. And there we go. Would you believe me if I said that I was actually second on the leaderboard for this game? It's quite incredible to think about that. So, Andre the Giant is making his return right now, but unfortunately he's coming from behind. which means I'm going to have to be very reliant on my lock-on, and especially in this very weak state. But as you saw after the mini-boss, I took the energy in order to make that as quickly as possible. For some reason, the enemies have decided, you know what, we're just going to parachute in some tanks. We'll let that sink in for a moment. Parachuting into tanks. But it's mostly just, you have less of a choice in terms of the strategy here. You have to take care of the legs. It's done, but because I was too quick on that, he has come back. But it should be the same thing, so he's going to shoot from the side and then try to push me from one side to the other with the blue bullets. And it should be done momentarily. There we go. Okay, now I need to make my way to the top of this tunnel. There is the top right now. I'm going to build more of good ships. And there are tanks waiting for me, and that little beep there was the final of my extra lives. So I cannot get any more ones, so I need to do this in 5 lives. You asked me this morning whether this would be a problem. I would have said, no, it's fine. I can do this. Apparently, marathon nerds are a real thing, so it's very important to take care of those buildings as quickly as possible because they have giant lasers, and I'm not Gohan. I'm just a poor country ship. I can't reflect lasers. There we go, second building done. Avoid my way there. Yes, the screen can get a little bit messy, so I can't exactly see the bullets sometimes through the huge amount of stars. But this is the final script. So after this, then we have the final boss. Is it the real final boss? Where you just find out? There we go. And that is bullet cancelling, so all of those problems, because I hit one of the bigger enemies, disappeared. I can breathe a sigh of relief, and now we are going to the finale. Eventually. There is my warning. But instead of the main boss, we're going to be introduced to cute little pet satellites that are going to come and shoot at me. As the doors creep open, you can see a silhouette in the background. So I'm wondering if I even bother about score. The silhouette is coming further into view. I guess that Pokemon. They're all taking pot shots at me. And there we go. Right, here is the final boss. No idea what the name is for it. Sorry, I don't know any Pokemon beyond 150. So, for this one, I just need to quickly sweep from side to side. And for this bit, safe spot, I can just stay here, no one's going to touch me. And I can just see out the rest of the first phase. There we go. The second phase, the idea is to be as close as possible, but not too close. Let's see how I'm going to mess this up. There we go. Alright, and now some proper dodging here. You know, after half an hour of doing that, it can be quite intense. Right, the little satellites are back and they're going to shoot in my face. Not very kind of them. It's probably to be expected though, considering all the devastation I've just committed. Now, imagine you're playing this game for the first time. What's the final phase of this boss going to be? It's a headbutt. And it becomes a bouncy ball. Bouncy. So it's on this difficulty, it's fine. On other difficulties, it does fire on you, which does complicate the strafing a little bit. There we go, fine. I won't have the bonus. So that is the last boss that will give us a bonus wheel. I'm going to take the stars. It doesn't mean anything, but I've got nothing else to spend it on. And now, because we did that without losing the continue, we get to see the TLB, the true last boss. So the requirements on this are very simple. I'm not going to talk during this bit. You'll see why. Now he's going to shoot me in the face with his laser. That's not very nice. 3 times. There we go. Right, and are we going to see the next phase? Nope, we go straight to the final one. So remember stage 3, the final phase of that boss is back. It's going to get ridiculously fast. So this is the only bit where if you lose a life, if you use a bomb, it does not affect the difficulty. So that is hard for everybody. So, yep, the boss was not dead. It has another life bar, the cheeky so-and-so, and I'm dead. Great, fine. Gets a bit tight here. Hoping I can get... And now for the final phase of the final boss, I promise you it's passion fruit. I promise you it's the final phase, not that I promise you it's passion fruit. I mean, it's very clearly passion fruit. There we go, there is my boost back. So hopefully we should be able to do this quickly. I'm not paying any attention anymore. There we go. Oh. Alright, so considering how terrible that was, I think that's looking like a top 10 score. So, whatever. He's milking it a bit. I mean, this is basically Romeo and Juliet. Plague on both your houses. And get ready, tech. Ready. Oh, it's coming. Time. Oh.
GG.
Thank you. All right, so final score 2.6 billion. Meh. The top of the world right now is 3.1 billion, and yeah, nearly there. Maybe not today. Oh, I need a drink.
Well deserved, Finn. Thank you so much for that glorious looking festival of popcorn and passion fruit. Do you have anything you want to shout out before we move on?
Yes, not to myself. I mean, the clever ones amongst you know how to Google, but mostly to the genre. I mean, it's a niche. It's the nichest of niches, but there are lots of passionate people continuing to not only create and re-release games, but also active communities on Discord, on YouTube, forums, and other places. So, you know, put shmups into a search engine, go on Steam, go on Switch, go on other ones. If you want to blow up lots of things for 20 minutes, it is a perfect opportunity for you, and there's bound to be a game there for you if you want to go into space, if you want to be a magician, if you want to be a flying otter. Yes, there is a game for that as well. But obviously, thank you to UKSG, thank you for everybody involved. And I will take a quick break and then lurk in chat in a few minutes for what happens when From Software try to make a card game. Should be fun.
Excellent, it should indeed. But yes, thank you once more for that run, Finn. And thank you all for watching, gang. We are going to be back after a short intermission. And as I said earlier, we've rejigged the order a little bit today. And you're now going to see Pat Thickness with Maximo Ghost to Glory. So stick around after the break and we'll be right back.